Okay, so the solution to the Rubik's Cube is parallel to the Christian lifestyle. Now, how on earth can you compare the Christian lifestyle to the solution to the Rubik's Cube? Well, the first thing you tell the kids to do is solve for the cross. Everything begins at the cross. So once they form the cross, like the Christian lifestyle, you come to Jesus, you confess your sins, get baptized, become born again, and then the games begin. And so it is with the Rubik's Cubes. After you've solved the cross, you're starting on your journey, so to speak, and in the solution for your journey, you're walking with Jesus and everything's fine. And you didn't know that there was a ditch on the right side of the road. And all of a sudden, seeing the ditch on the right side of the road, you see something in the ditch that you think you've got to have. And so you go to Jesus and you ask Jesus, can you wait just a minute while I go check this out in the ditch? And Jesus says, no, I can't wait. I'm on a time schedule. You can go check out what's in the ditch, but I can't stop because I'm on a time schedule, and that's the way it goes. So, as you continue your quest to go in the ditch, you go in the ditch and you find that none other than the devil's there. And of course, he wants to kill, steal, and destroy because that's what he does. So you finally get out of that ditch and you are walking with Jesus and everything's fine. And so as long as you're walking with Jesus, you're happy, everybody's happy. But all of a sudden you notice there's something in a ditch on the left. You didn't know there was a ditch on your left until you looked over there and you see something you think you've got to have. And so you do the same thing. You go to Jesus, and of course he can't stop because he's on a time schedule. And so you say, all right, well, I'll be right back. And you go dive in a ditch. And of course, the devil's waiting over there. And of course, you're fortunate to get out of his grasp. And you realize that through being in both of the ditches, somehow you've gotten older. You don't know how it happened, but 2/3 of the Rubik's Cube also got done. And you know that you just don't bounce as well as you used to. So you decide that the only good in your life has been from following Jesus. So you decide that you want to surrender your entire existence to Jesus and follow him all the way. And where is it that all the Christians want to go? All the Christians want to go someplace, according to the Bible. Where do they want to go? And most people will tell you that they want to go to heaven. And that's a good answer, but it's not the best answer. So when you commit yourself to Jesus and surrender all, you want to make another cross. This time you're going to, if you solve for the white side, it's going to be a yellow cross. And so as you get that yellow cross, you continue and you notice that you want to get all the yellow pieces up on top, and you see that there's a fish. And you can't make this stuff up. You know that Jesus told you that if you follow him, he's going to make you a fisher of men. So you're really excited because you know that you're on the right path, because Jesus, of course, said he was going to make you fishers of men. And so you want to go ahead and finish on to the solution of the Rubik's Cube. And as you do, you're going to find out that when you complete it, according to Revelation chapter 21 and verse 16, the New Jerusalem, where all the Christians really want to go, is cubic. And there's 3 gates, one on each side. And above each one of the gates is one of the names of the 12 sons of Jacob. And of course, if you want to extrapolate on that story, you can tell them the story about Levi and Simeon and how they had a sister named Dinah who got mixed up with this fellow named Shechem. And so Shechem comes to Levi and Simeon and asks if he can marry their sister. And Levi and Simeon said, if you want to marry our sister, you're going to have to get circumcised. And he said, well, that's fine, I can do that. And they said, no, it's not that easy. Not only are you going to have to be circumcised, but all the men in your dad's town are going to have to be circumcised. And so he said, okay, we'll let that happen. And they did. And so a few days later, when they're in the most abject pain, Levi and Simeon and a band of men went over to Shechem's town, and they slaughtered all the men. And so, yet their names, Levi and Simeon, are going to be above two of the gates in the New Jerusalem, the new city. So, if they can overcome their murderous character and have their names immortalized for eternity above the two gates, then that means that there's hope for all of us to be able to overcome our own human nature and enter into the New Jerusalem. And if you want to see who's going to be able to go into the New Jerusalem or not, it's all right there in Revelation. It tells you exactly who's going to go into the new city and who can't. There you go.
Thank you.